Hello. So truth time, and I'm a little shaky recording this video, and I'm feeling quite vulnerable, but that's what I'm here for. So if I giggle a lot or blush or fidget, it's just coming from me just putting this out here. So I just wanted to talk a little bit today about why I do the work that I do and what kind of brought me to that place. And because, I love talking about sex and relationships, communication, intimacy, all the pleasure, all the yummy stuff. I love talking about it. And if you're feeling any sort of constriction in your body right now, when I say sex, if that feels really polarizing, very, like, I can't believe she's talking about that or saying those words, that proves we have a lot of work to do. And I know for a fact that there's many of you that feel that this is taboo. We don't talk about this stuff, right? But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to take a stand for women's sexuality and women's pleasure, because it ripples out into every area of your life in the most beautiful way when you can stake a claim to being embodied and pleasure-filled. But it's also not easy to do because there's so much trauma that we carry. There's so many stories. There's so many terrible experiences that have made us very guarded in our bodies. So for me, I'm here now and I feel really empowered to talk about. There's not much you could say that would shock me. And however, I think back, when was it really hard for me? When did I not feel this way? And it goes, I think back to my marriage. I'm like, no. Back to my 20s, no. I'm going back to my teens. I remember being this young girl in this body that she was completely disconnected to. She didn't know anything about how she worked, what she wanted, what she needed, what she desired. Desire wasn't even a thing. What did that even mean, right? I developed these big boobs before most of the other girls in my class. And I remember feeling really insecure because I got so many sexualized comments. I got teased. And that, it was, I didn't really know, I kind of laugh it off, laugh along, even though deep inside I was just mortified. And it just further drove that disconnection to my body and to my being. And it's just so sad, And, back in that day, it was the Days of Nirvana. So it was all about the baggy clothes. So, to the 90s, that worked in my favor. I mean, I can laugh about that now, but I know that I'm not alone in feeling this way because we've all gone through these different phases in our lives, and teen years seem to be pretty bad. But then going into my 20s, and this first boyfriend aside, he was incredible. So not him at all. But all the men that I was with into my marriage, it was all about my job as a partner, as a sexual partner to these people, was to perform, to be a performer, to make sure their needs were met, that they were satisfied. My needs weren't even in the picture. I didn't consider them. I didn't know what they were. It was never, no one asked me. It was just kind of perform, just do your thing, make sure he's happy and satiated and feels great, and you just carry on. And that's what I thought I was to do. And I just remember feeling, for me, there was a moment when I looked at my kids and I remember thinking, gosh, you tell your kids, don't ever settle. Don't ever settle for anything less than you deserve. You're beautiful, you're perfect, you deserve incredible things. And here I was completely settling. So I thought, how will my kids ever respect me if I'm, if I am not standing up for myself and my needs and my desires. And then I was like, but what are they? So that kind of started, that was the turning point for me, was really looking at my children and wanting more for them, which meant I needed to want more for myself first. I needed to be that example first. And I remember diving into everything that had to do with personal development, spirituality, sexuality, communication, intimacy, ancient practices, everything you can imagine, learning, devouring as much as I possibly could. And I'm a nerd anyways, like I love to learn. I'll learn for the rest of my life. But I was just gave everything into that part and healing. Why? How did I end up in this place of such disconnection to my body? And so lots of trauma release, lots of changing stories and changing the paradigm that I felt that my role as a woman was, because I got so many comments still to this day, but now it's a different vibe. Like I'm secure in myself. Like it's not the same. Whereas in my teens and 20s and early 30s, it was really like I was a performer. I was just trying to be what I thought men wanted me to be, what was desirable, because that was my job. So anyways, just to kind of, I don't want to keep this too long, but I know for me, once I started to cultivate that deep sense of self-love for myself, that deep sense of knowing I was worthy of more, that I was worthy to be honored and cherished and adored, and that my needs mattered in relationship. And then when I started putting myself out there and dating again and all that a few years back, it was incredible the people that I attracted and that actually cared about my desires and my needs. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. These people actually exist? And they do. Because I took a stand for myself and I was content and confident within myself. I was not coming from a place of need or trying to prove anything. I was coming from a place of, this is me. I love myself. I've got myself. And that's a really amazing, delicious place to be in, right? And that's what I want for all women. This is where, the passion comes into the work that I do. And this is why I'll never stop talking about sex. So if you're not comfortable with that, then you might want to sign off. But part of me really thinks that you'll be sticking around just because I know that I'm not alone in feeling this way. I know that just about every woman who's watching this has felt that way before, that they were an object, that they've been a performer. And so coming into that place of what's your desires, what do you want, what feels good to you, is so empowering, because it just ripples out into all facets of your life, your relationships, how you parent, how you are in relationship, how you do your work in the world. It's a really beautiful place to be. So I want that for all women. And yeah, everything changed for me. And it's just, I just want that for everyone. I really do. So that's all I wanted to share today. But if you're connecting to this, like if it's resonating, give me a little support. Put, let's say yes, like capital YES down below that you feel this, because I know I'm not alone in feeling this. So that's all I want to share today. And the shakiness is a bit better now. And I just know that, when I share, it gives permission for other people to share more about themselves and to feel that they're not alone in how they feel. Because collectively, there's many wounds that we have. And I know for me, going through trauma healing, there was gentle trauma release. There was reprogramming of old patterns and thoughts that needed to happen. So much of that kind of stuff needed to happen to get to where I'm at today. And, it's a journey, but my gosh, it's worth it, because we're only here for a short time. So why not make it yummy and juicy and pleasurable and exactly what you desire it to be, whatever that looks like for you. So leave me a comment below if this resonates with you. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you for watching if you got this far. Maybe no one did, but that's okay. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you soon.